For this video, I'm going to be showing you some room decor ideas and just what I did to spice up my room for the holidays. The first thing that I did was remove my comforter, my sheets, and my pillowcases. Then I took some really cute flannel sheets that I bought from Target and placed them all over my bed to add some Christmassy spirit. After I was done placing the sheets on the bed, I found a white blanket that I already had laying around the house, so I just spread that across the bed. Then I took a little red throw blanket and put that across the bed as well. My bed was looking a little lonely, so I created 3 throw pillows to add to it. The first one I used hot glue gun, fur fabric, and pillow stuffing that I bought at Walmart. For the fabric it was scrap fabric, so it was already in the perfect shape, but you would just need to cut that into a large rectangle. Then you're going to fold it over and just hot glue the edges together. Press them really well to make sure that they're well glued. You're going to leave an opening at the top so you can put in the pillow fluff. Stuff it as full as you want, and when that is complete, you're just going to hot glue the very ends together, making sure that it's very secure. If you want a more permanent fix for this pillow, you need to sew it because that's going to work a lot better, but the hot glue is just faster, easier. And that completes the second pillow. I think this turned out really cute, and I would definitely suggest doing it, but I would recommend sewing it because the hot glue just isn't the best way to go, but it's just so much faster, so that's why I chose it. For the second pillow, I used a white pillowcase because I already had an extra pillowcase laying around, so I thought that would be a lot easier than buying fabric for it. I used some buttons and some green felt. The first thing that I did was lay out the pillowcase and take the corner and fold it kind of towards the corner, as you can see that I'm doing. Then I cut the bottom along, as you can see that I'm doing. This way it makes a perfect square because I was going for a square pillow. After getting the perfect square shape that I wanted, I unfolded my fabric, flipped it inside out, and I sewed across the bottom. Before I sewed, I actually ironed my pillow because it was very wrinkly, and ironed up the bottom as well so it kind of looked like a hemline. I left a little hole at the bottom so I could flip it back inside out and then fill it with some pillow stuffing. Again, fill your pillow as fluffy as you like it. Make sure that you really get in the corners. Once you've got it the perfect length, you're just gonna sew up that little extra hole, and that is how you make your pillow. Because this is a Christmas themed pillow, I decided I wanted a cute little Christmas tree to set on my white squared pillow. So the first thing I did is I folded the green fabric over and I drew a Christmas tree on half of it. I then cut along the pattern so I had a symmetrical Christmas tree. The next thing that I did was I glued the Christmas tree onto the white pillow. I did it section by section, as you can see that I'm doing, just because hot glue dries so fast, and if you don't work fast or work in sections, it's going to dry up before you can stick it, and it's not going to stick. So it's very important that you either do it super fast or work in sections like I did. Once the Christmas tree was secure onto the pillow, I took the buttons that I used and just laid them out to kind of look like ornaments. I would just lay them down before you glue them just to make sure they're in the perfect spot that you want them in. Then I glued the buttons onto the Christmas tree to make sure that they were nice and secure. I then took a Build-A-Bear bow that I had and glued it on the top to kind of look like the top little star thing. Because the bow was super wrinkled, I then took the glue and laid out. For the third pillow, I used the same cutting technique that I used for the first pillow, so I had a perfect square shape. I then ironed my fabric out, and what I did is I used these little iron-on letters to write the words "Be Merry." I just cut them and followed the directions. It tells you to lay a towel across the letters once you have them in the place that you want and just iron them across. I found that this towel was actually kind of thick, so I ended up using a thinner fabric to lay over it. But this is just used that it's a heat protectant so you don't burn the letters on and they don't look really bad. After you remove the towel or the fabric or whatever you used, that is all for the letters. That's how you secure them on. After my Be Merry letters were in place, I took the fabric and I put it good side to good side, and I sewed along the edges, as you can see where I'm pointing, and just left a little hole again like I did with the white pillow so that I could flip it inside out and fill the pillow up with pillow stuffing. Once my pillow was filled up the way I wanted it to be, I sewed up the little extra hole, and that completed my third pillow. I think all of these pillows turned out really cute, and they just add a little extra Christmas to my room. When I was at Dollar Tree, I found this really cute garland kit, which kind of inspired me to make a Merry Christmas sign. I took some red and green scrap paper and wrote out the letters to spell Christmas. I traced that in a Sharpie to just kind of give it a thick outline, and then I took scissors and cut along the edges to make my cute little letters. I took the leftover scrap paper to make a Merry sign. The garland kit that I bought at Dollar Tree just came as one long strand with 12 Christmas tree clips on it, so I cut that into two because I wanted a Merry sign on the top and a Christmas sign on the bottom. What I'm doing is I'm tying the ends of the garland into a dot so that it looks, not into a dot, into a knot, so it looks more finished, and then I'm just taping the garland string pieces onto the wall. And that is the face you make after you realize you just spent a whole 2 minutes taping up the garland piece completely backwards. So when you are, if you decide to tape the garland piece up, make sure that you're taping it so that the Christmas trees are facing out and not the other way around, otherwise you'll make that face too. Once it's taped to the wall, you're obviously just going to clip the Merry and the Christmas signs up using your Christmas clips, as you can see that I did, and this is the final product. It turned out so cute. For the next little DIY project I bought some Christmas paper along with like some white sparkly tulle stuff at the Dollar Tree. So what my mom is actually doing for me is wrapping up my picture frames with the paper that I bought at the Dollar Tree. You can see the hook that she's pointing at right there. It's very important to make sure that the words are facing the right way so that when you hang it on the wall it looks good, or if you have a pattern, that the pattern's facing the way that you want it to be facing. The next thing that you're going to do is cut the wrapping paper along the edge of the frame just like she's doing. While you're trimming the wrapping paper around the frame, it's very important that you make sure that the clip that you're going to hang it up on is going to be showable. If not, you can always poke a hole, but it's just going to be easier if you trim the wrapping paper to go around the hook. Once you've cut the wrapping paper to fit perfectly around the frame, you're just going to fold the corners in and tape it all to the back of the picture frame. Make sure that if you do have a hook that you're cutting around it like you see that she's doing if I was going to hang it the other way, and taping it around, because you have to have that hook showable in order to hang your picture frame. And that's all for the wrapping part of the picture frame. I thought that the picture frame looked a little bland with just the wrapping paper, so I let my mom take the white tulle that I bought from the Dollar Tree, and she wrapped it around vertically first and then crossed it in the back as you saw, and then brought it around horizontally. She then tied it in a knot to secure it and fluffed it to make sure that they were even. She then tied the bow with the extra and cut the corners of the bow diagonally just so that it looked a little more finished and put together. And voila, that is the final product. I think it looks so cute, and it just adds a little extra Christmas to your room, and it's super simple, and I'm sure you already have wrapping paper, maybe tulle, and tons of picture frames that you can wrap. And that is all for this video. Thank you, Mom, for wrapping the picture frame. You did such a good job. It turned out really good. And thank you for anyone that's watching. I love making this Christmas stuff. I think it added so much to the room, and it looks so cute, and it was really easy, and I hope you give it a try. Thank you again.